Hello, everyone. Once again, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are in the spotlight, and this time it's all about a cooking show mishap that has their former staff laughing. What was meant to be Meghan's big step into the world of lifestyle and entertainment has turned into a bit of a comedy of errors, highlighting the ongoing pattern of chaos and controversy that seems to follow them. From staff coming and going to a series of failed ventures, the couple's reputation for being difficult and demanding has only grown. It makes you wonder, are Harry and Meghan just unlucky, or are they causing their own problems? Meghan's grand entrance into the lifestyle business world came with a lot of flair. She promised everything from homemade jams to dog treats, even teasing some rose-scented touches, painting a cozy picture of domestic charm. Her new venture, American Riviera Orchard, was expected to be a hit, but instead of a polished cooking show, it's been more of a comedy of mishaps. Despite all the initial buzz, Meghan's cooking show has been stuck in limbo for months, and even Netflix, the platform set to host this culinary showcase, hasn't committed to a release date. What began with excitement and flair has now come to a standstill with no signs of progress. Why? Like many of Meghan's other ventures, this one seems to suffer from poor planning, a lack of direction, and most importantly, difficulty in working with others. Meghan's reputation for being demanding and hard to work with has followed her from her royal life into the business world, and the outcome has been just as chaotic. The clearest sign of trouble is the departure of nearly 20 staff members from what's been called a nightmare workplace. Former employees even refer to themselves as the Sussex Survivor Club, a name that says a lot about the turbulent environment. Their latest high-profile exit is Chief of Staff Josh Kettler, who didn't last 3 months before leaving, right before a planned tour in Colombia. So what's behind this mass exodus? Insiders say it's Meghan's refusal to listen to anyone, convinced she always knows best. Combined with Harry's passive role in their ventures, this creates an atmosphere where staff feel undervalued, overworked, and constantly stressed. When leadership is filled with tension and ego, it's no surprise things fall apart. The employees are running for the hills. It's ironic Harry and Meghan left the royal family to gain independence and find a more peaceful life, but they've ended up creating the same drama they wanted to leave behind. If anything, they've made things worse by pushing away the very people who could help them succeed. The cooking show is a perfect example of how not to launch a new venture. What was supposed to be a fun, engaging series that showcased Meghan's so-called love for cooking has turned into an industry joke. Even Netflix, known for taking risks, seems hesitant to link its brand to a project that's quickly becoming a recipe for disaster. Why? Because Meghan, in typical fashion, has reportedly demanded full creative control. She's been unwilling to listen to experienced producers and has ignored the advice of those who know what it takes to make a successful show. It seems Meghan believes her star power alone will make the show a hit, forgetting that even the brightest stars need a strong script, solid direction, and yes, a touch of humility. Her refusal to accept feedback or collaborate has left the project stuck in limbo, much like many of her other ventures. Instead of a successful launch, we're left with yet another Meghan and Harry disaster, another failed project marred by indecision, poor leadership, and a glaring lack of self-awareness. The mess surrounding the cooking show and Meghan's lifestyle business is just the latest in a series of failed ventures and strained relationships. From her short time as a royal, where she faced bullying accusations, to her struggles in maintaining steady relationships with family, friends, or staff, Meghan has shown a clear pattern: alienate, aggravate, and then walk away. One has to wonder if Meghan has ever stopped to think about why so many people leave her circle with a bitter feeling. Her determination to do everything her way, paired with an apparent refusal to listen or accept advice, seems like a guaranteed recipe for failure in any project she undertakes. There's a saying that the common factor in all your failed relationships is you, and it might be time for Meghan to reflect on that. It's no longer about bad luck or outside forces, it's about acknowledging the part you play in your own downfall, while Meghan often takes center stage in. In the midst of these dramatic episodes, we can't ignore Harry's role in this ongoing saga. It's tempting to view him as a passive observer, the unfortunate prince caught up in his wife's ambitions, but is he really so innocent? Or is he a willing participant in the chaos? Harry has consistently supported Meghan in every public move, whether in interviews, documentaries, or public appearances. He has echoed her calls for independence, freedom, and a fresh start away from royal duties. But what has Harry truly contributed to their ventures? While Meghan alienates staff and derails projects, Harry seems content to stand on the sidelines, rarely stepping up to take charge or provide direction. This is concerning. If Harry is indeed an equal partner, then he shares the responsibility for their failures. His reluctance to step in, moderate, or actively guide their joint efforts raises questions. Does he lack leadership skills? Or is he simply allowing Meghan to take the reins, even if it leads them toward disaster? It's no wonder Meghan and Harry's ventures have been described as a nightmare. Former employees report a chaotic workplace where leadership is absent, egos clash, and morale remains at rock bottom. The couple's inability to retain staff highlights a serious flaw in their leadership or the lack of it. Good leaders know how to inspire, motivate, and keep talented people around. They understand the value of teamwork, listening, and building trust within their team. Sadly, Meghan and Harry seem to have missed this lesson. Instead, they've created a culture of arrogance, defensiveness, and ultimately failure. The fact that nearly 20 staff members have left in such a short time isn't a coincidence. It's a clear signal that something is seriously wrong. While Meghan and Harry may see themselves as misunderstood visionaries, the truth is, they're just poor managers who haven't mastered the basics of leadership. Despite these ongoing failures, their PR machine keeps churning out new stories to try and protect their brand. But how long can this strategy really last? Eventually, the public will see past the excuses and start demanding real results. PR can only hide the cracks for so long no amount of spin can. No amount of spin can hide the fact that their ventures are failing, their staff are fleeing, and their brand is beginning to lose its shine. If Meghan and Harry continue to rely on PR to carry them through, they risk becoming the punchline of their own story, a pair of royal rebels who set out to change the world but couldn't even get a cooking show off the ground. The cooking show stuck in limbo seems like a perfect symbol for their current situation. They're caught between worlds, unable to fully commit to either. They want the perks of celebrity life without the constant scrutiny, the benefits of royal status without the duties, and the freedom to do as they please without facing the consequences. Their failure to move forward with the cooking show mirrors their larger struggle to find direction in their post-royal lives. They are torn between staying in the spotlight and wanting to be left alone. They're stuck in a cycle of indecision, unable to move forward but too stubborn to step back. Looking at their journey, it's hard not to feel frustrated by the wasted potential. Harry and Meghan had a rare chance to forge a new path, to redefine themselves beyond the royal family, and to make a real impact on the world. Instead, they've stumbled from one misstep to the next, weighed down by arrogance, poor choices, and an inability to learn from their mistakes. Their story is one of missed opportunities, potential wasted by a refusal to listen, adapt, or grow. If they want to save their reputations and turn their ventures around, they need to take a long, honest look at themselves and start making changes. If they continue on this path, they'll likely find themselves increasingly isolated, their brand fading, and their projects destined to fail. The question remains, will they finally learn from their mistakes, or will they continue down the same path, convinced they know best? Only time will tell. For now, their flair for drama has once again taken center stage, and the world is watching, popcorn in hand, to see what happens next. As the ongoing saga of Harry and Meghan unfolds, it's clear that their problems go far beyond a cooking show mishap or a chaotic workplace. At the heart of it all lies a deeper struggle, a battle for identity, relevance, and legitimacy in a world where their status and influence are constantly being questioned. One of the most intriguing aspects of their public journey is their unclear sense of identity. Are they Hollywood celebrities, champions of social justice, rebellious royals, or lifestyle influencers? Their actions suggest they are trying to be all these things at once, but in reality they end up convincingly being none of them. Meghan's efforts to break into the lifestyle and cooking world often come off as desperate attempts for attention rather than true expressions of passion or expertise. It feels as though she's searching for an identity that fits, diving into different ventures in hopes that one will finally resonate. Meanwhile, Harry appears to be facing his own identity crisis, caught between his royal background and a desire for a more ordinary life. This constant shifting of roles reflects a lack of clarity and purpose. Instead of working on a cohesive identity, they seem more focused on chasing whatever trend or opportunity might provide a brief boost in relevance. This scattergun approach leaves them looking confused and unfocused, more concerned with public perception than genuine self-discovery. One of the biggest criticisms directed at Harry and Meghan is their perceived lack of authenticity. They portray themselves as champions of the underdog, speaking out against oppression, inequality, and injustice. yet their actions often seem more focused on preserving their own image and status. Take the cooking show, for example. It was presented as a project meant to highlight Meghan's down-to-earth side, but everything about it felt meticulously planned and artificial, from the homemade jam to the rustic decor. The issue with this approach is that it comes off more like a branding exercise than a sincere effort to connect with people. In an era where audiences are increasingly skeptical and quick to detect insincerity, Harry and Meghan's carefully crafted image can feel hollow and forced. Their constant drive to appear authentic ironically undermines their authenticity. True authenticity isn't about controlling every narrative or curating every image, it's about being genuine and open, flaws and all. True authenticity is about being real, even when that reality is messy, complicated, and imperfect. Harry and Meghan's relentless quest for a flawless public image only serves to push them further away from the very audience they want to connect with. An often overlooked aspect of their relationship is the apparent leadership vacuum within their partnership. While Meghan frequently takes the more assertive public stance, Harry's role seems more reactive, trailing behind her instead of standing alongside her. This dynamic creates an imbalance that may contribute to their lack of clear direction. If Harry and Meghan want to succeed in their ventures, they need to cultivate a more balanced partnership where both contribute their strengths. Right now, it feels as though Harry is adrift, with his public persona increasingly shaped by Meghan's decisions and actions rather than his own. There's a risk that Harry could become just a supporting character in his own story. If Harry continues to take a back seat, he risks being viewed as a passive participant, lacking the agency or initiative to shape his own future. This perception could damage their credibility as a team and weaken their standing in the public eye. Another major issue facing Harry and Meghan is the inconsistency of their messaging. They swing between lamenting the burdens of fame and leveraging their celebrity status to land lucrative deals and public platforms. This contradiction creates confusion and raises questions about their true intentions. On one hand, they decry the invasion of privacy and the pressures of public life. On the other, they engage in media ventures that pull them back into the limelight. Are they victims of unwanted attention, or are they savvy media operators who know how to use the press to their advantage? The lack of clarity in their messaging dilutes the impact of their public statements and makes it difficult for people to understand their true stance. This inconsistency not only harms their credibility, but also limits their ability to build a loyal support base. To be effective advocates, they need to choose a clear message and stick to it, something they have struggled with so far. Another danger in their relentless pursuit of public attention is fatigue. The public's patience with the Sussexes is wearing thin. Initially, their departure from royal life and candid interviews sparked widespread interest and curiosity. However, that fascination has slowly turned into skepticism, irritation, and in some cases, outright dismissal. Their constant media presence, often filled with complaints or grievances, risks overexposing them to the point of becoming irrelevant. In an age where attention spans are short and news cycles move rapidly, there's only so much room for one couple's drama before audiences move on to something new. If Harry and Meghan continue to inundate the media with the same tired narratives, they may find themselves becoming yesterday's news. Harry and Meghan need to find a way to bring something fresh and exciting that really grabs people's attention. There's a growing feeling that they're at risk of becoming predictable, the former royals who swapped the palace for Hollywood only to get stuck in the same old stories about fame, fortune, and controversy. Their repeated efforts to redefine themselves, whether as lifestyle influencers or champions of social causes, now seem more like they're following a well-worn script rather than creating a new direction. Hollywood loves a good comeback, but it's quick to lose interest in those who don't deliver. If Harry and Meghan want to avoid becoming just another tale of celebrity downfall, they must step away from the usual patterns and do something truly different. One worrying aspect of Harry and Meghan's approach is the feeling that they're stuck in an echo chamber, surrounded by people who simply agree with them rather than offering constructive criticism. This lack of diverse opinions might explain why many of their projects seem out of touch or poorly executed. If they continue to avoid environments where different perspectives are welcomed, they risk drifting even further from public opinion. Successful leaders and entrepreneurs understand the importance of constructive feedback. They embrace it as a chance to learn and grow. However, if Harry and Meghan keep ignoring those who question their choices or suggest different approaches, they're likely to repeat the same mistakes and push more people away. As their story unfolds, one can't help but wonder, what do they truly want? Do they want to be celebrities, activists, entrepreneurs, or just a couple seeking a quiet life? Their actions seem to show that they want all of these things, but the truth is they might have to choose. The more they try to be everything to everyone, the more they risk losing their identity. Real success doesn't come from trying to please everyone, it comes from having a clear purpose and sticking to it, even when it's difficult or unpopular. Harry and Meghan need to face some hard questions. Are they truly passionate about the causes they support, or are they more focused on staying relevant and protecting their lifestyle? Are they ready to make the sacrifices needed to create something lasting, or will they keep jumping from one project to the next without fully committing? It's time for Harry and Meghan to hit the reset button. They need to pause, reevaluate their priorities, and decide what kind of public figures they want to become. This requires honesty, recognizing their strengths, weaknesses, and true motivations. It also means owning up to their mistakes and being open to learning from them. They may need to step away from the spotlight for a while, rebuilding their brand in a more natural and genuine way. This could involve focusing on just one or two causes they truly care about rather than trying to do too much. They might also need to rethink their media strategy, choosing quality over quantity in their public appearances and statements. When Harry and Meghan chose to step away from royal life and move to the US, it was seen as a chance to start fresh and redefine their roles. However, there's a growing feeling that they may have misjudged the American celebrity scene, overestimating their appeal in a landscape that's very different from the British royal world. In the UK, their royal status gave them an inherent sense of importance, a built-in audience, and a duty that commanded respect. But in the US, celebrity is much more fluid and demands constant reinvention, openness, and the ability to engage. Americans are less impressed by titles and more interested in what celebrities bring to the table, whether it's entertainment, innovation, or advocacy. Harry and Meghan's struggles may highlight a misunderstanding of how American celebrity culture works. It's fundamentally different from the royal world. Their reliance on their former royal status may come off as outdated or irrelevant in a culture that values authenticity and relatability more than noble lineage. Additionally, their activism often appears contradictory, if not hypocritical. While they speak about social justice, mental health, and environmental issues, their actions don't always align with the causes they support. For instance, their frequent use of private jets, despite advocating for climate change, has drawn criticism for being inconsistent with their environmental message. This contradiction reveals a deeper conflict between their words and actions. There seems to be a tension between their private interests and public activism. This raises questions about whether their advocacy is truly motivated by a desire to create change, or if it's more of a strategic branding move aimed at staying relevant to a progressive audience. If they want to be seen as serious advocates, they need to ensure that their actions match their words. Otherwise, they risk being viewed as celebrities who take on causes not out of genuine belief, but as a way to keep their public image polished. This gap between what they say and what they do weakens their credibility and makes it difficult for people to view them as anything more than opportunists. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so please leave a comment below and I'll share it with the community. Don't forget to support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you again soon.